Hello, everybody. Just want to be sure we got our levels here. We're looking good. All right, welcome to today's live stream. So we have quite a few things we're going to go over today. If you guys have any questions, as per usual, feel free to ask in the YouTube chat, otherwise in the Discord at a later time. So I've gone through already this morning and did some analysis on BTC, and this is ultimately what, in my opinion, what I think we should be looking at here locally. So, well, let's go ahead and zoom out here for a moment. I just want to talk again about this trade. So I took this short trade last week, or maybe even longer than that, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, a week ago. My idea is that we did get this SFP here, right? We took out these highs. I'm looking at this kind of like maybe a deviation plan, something like this. In addition, we have this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wouldn't be surprised to see some degree of a larger pullback. And then as well as this higher time frame cipher harmonic, which is looking really good so far. Okay. A cipher can go up as high as 1414, so we're just shy of that. It's possible that we do get one more sweep up to that level, which I am accounting for on lower time frames. This does not have to play out, right? Price can absolutely keep moving to the upside. The C wave is typically not the one that you would trade. You would typically take a trade off of the D wave, but I'm just thinking forward here and trying to look at a bigger picture and get an idea of what's possible, right? And so this is kind of my higher time frame trade. I've just been sitting in it. I'm not really too worried about it. I've set it aside. I'm not thinking about it. And in the meantime, I'm doing some lower time frame trades, which is now what we'll take a look at. So going down to, let's go down to a 4-hour time frame. So going down to a 4-hour time frame, what I've been looking at, here's that 1414 target that I was talking about that the cipher would typically play out to. So one of two trades that I'm looking for, otherwise I'm really just not interested in trading this area, is one, a deviation of this daily level. So most people would probably think that we would get like a deviation of this channel and do something like this, and that's entirely possible. But in my opinion, we just have some really nice levels down here with some really nice liquidity. So instead of, maybe we get a sweep and people long it, but then, we start to get this move back down, where we end up deviating the daily level, tapping this daily naked point of control below at about 49,150. We also have a key area of support here, which is the previous month high, the range value area high, and another, or no, it's not another one. This is that daily naked point of control here. So this zone has like a lot of really nice confluence, and what I'd like to see is maybe a deviation of that daily level, where most people would be expecting a deviation of this level here. Entirely possible, but I do like this setup a little bit more. Second, of course, from there, we'd be looking for a reclaim of range lows for then a move to the upside. Otherwise, if price fails to reclaim range lows, we'd look for a deviation and then continuation to the downside. Second, again, I'd be looking for a deviation or a sweep of these highs here, up to like the 1414. If price like starts really chugging up here, then I'm not going to short. I want it to be a deviation play or a sweep play. I don't want to like go super high up, towards 54 and say, oh yeah, this is a deviation, I'm going to start shorting. I'm not interested in doing that. I want to see an actual deviation play over range highs in this area. I'm not as interested in a deviation play at range lows, although I will keep an eye out for it. I would prefer that we actually do get this move down towards this daily and daily naked point of control here. So that's that for BTC. We'll go ahead and take a look at ETH. Ethereum, let's go down to a 4-hour time frame. So we have a higher time frame resistance zone up here that I drew out months ago. And really what I'm looking for is, this would getting a move down to this daily naked point of control here would be a CME gap fill. We have some H1 and H4 moving averages down on that area. It would be a top of a channel back test on this upper channel that we have here, this upper channel, we have this channel that we've been following for a really long time. Price is broken above it. I'd look for some kind of like a back test of that area as well. And then, of course, you know, a bounce on our daily naked point of control here. So what I would look for is kind of a deviation of the previous week value area high for then that move to the upside. Although it it looks like price might just be running for it right now. Ultimately, my primary target is this untapped monthly up here. That I'd really be looking for to hit at the very least. That said, you know, of course, this is just a really, really, really key high time frame zone here of resistance. So it could very well go straight through to the top at about 3,500 rather than stopping at 3,281. That said, if for whatever reason price does get some kind of a massive pullback here suddenly, this is definitely going to be the zone that I'm looking to long if given, right? I would expect something kind of like this and then a deviation, reclaim, and then kind of a move to the upside from there. Again, just as a reminder too, we'll take a look at ETH BTC. I had said this for quite some time. This is the move that I called and it totally worked out to fruition here. We'll actually even go to a weekly. So this is definitely playing out like a deviation of this range low and a sweep of this low here. We've, you know, closed a weekly inside. So as long as we remain inside of this channel, there's no reason that we can't target the midline as well as range highs. So there's plenty of room for ETH to run. Keep that in mind. You know, I really am not interested in shorting ETH till maybe that monthly, maybe even 3,500. Otherwise, just generally speaking, not entirely interested in shorting ETH. Okay, so next we'll take a look at Solana. Taking a look at Solana here. So, man, this is a really, 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 really nice setup, guys. This is like one of my cleanest looking setups I've seen in a while. And it genuinely looks like it's going to come to fruition. So we have a, what is it? We have an H12 order block here, which coincides with a D-wave target on this bat harmonic. So the 886 here, as well as this H12 OB. If we just for a moment go ahead and get rid of the H12 OB, we can see that the previous week low is here. So essentially what I'd be looking for is a deviation of the previous week low, reclaim down to the 886 as well as this H12 OB here to hold as support. And then we'd look to trade it up to some of these key areas of liquidity at about 107, 115, and then again at 121. So this is a really, really just a super nice harmonic, and it really does, in my opinion, it really does look like it is going to come to fruition here. Just a really clean setup. Okay, so I have my alert set. Essentially, I'm just going to remain patient until price hits this zone, and then I'll start to ladder into longs. Right now, is it possible? So this for the bat harmonic to play out in good timing, we're going to be looking at about Wednesday morning. So is it possible that it comes up here and then comes back down? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And if we do get something like that, I would definitely look to short it. I'd even be tempted to short this to some degree. But ultimately, my primary target is here. So in knowing that I'm looking down here, and again, you can say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then look for that wave 5 down here, find support, and then go ahead and start targeting back towards the upside, right? So basically, I'm just going to remain patient and look for this zone to get hit and maybe consider shorting until then. But really, the primary thing is to look for that long setup off of this bat harmonic. It's really clean setup. Next, we will take a look at gold. Bron called out a gold short this morning, and I know it's just absolutely printing right now. So these are kind of the two setups that I'm looking for here. I would really love to see a move up above this high here. I would really love to see that. Tap this trend line here, a move back up above here, some kind of a sweep. Look for a short position, trade it back down to the range value area high as well as the previous month low. And then from this zone here, we do look for a bounce, which would be this long here. If that zone is lost, then we look down to this monthly support resistance flip zone, this SR flip zone that we have down here. So this is generally speaking my trading setup for this upcoming week on gold. I will short here and I will look to long here. Whichever one comes first, it doesn't matter to me. In the meantime, if I do see some lower time frame setups as well, I'll be sure to share those in the Discord. But ultimately, you know, these are kind of the setups that I'm looking for here. GU, pound versus the dollar. Local setup, really, I'm just looking for, I am short from up here, and I'm just looking for a move down to the bottom of the channel, and I'll close and take out profits. Looking to take out these lows here. On a higher time frame, we do have a, not that one. On a higher time frame, we do, oh boy, this is pretty messy. On a higher time frame, we do have this Gartley harmonic. Timing wise, it played out really nicely. It didn't quite get up to the 786 like you would expect, but it doesn't have to. It can be a little bit shy. That doesn't have to be an issue. So if this harmonic does play out, we'd be looking at about 126 as a take profit 1, and then about 124.55 as a take profit 2. So this is something that we'll be sure to monitor. But in the meantime, truthfully, this for me, this is really just, you know, what I'm primarily looking for here is just to, you know, get a move down, sweep these lows, and take some good profits here. If we do get the full swing down, great. But I'm not, you know, I have that trade going, but I'm really right now more interested in this one here. Euro versus the yen. Super called out a short this morning on this asset, and it's looking really good. And I, you know, after he had called it out, I took a look at the asset and I saw this harmonic here, and it played out timing wise again, just really, really nicely. Oh, whoops. There we go. If we go ahead and draw this out, you can see it just played out to a T, you know, right on the 1-to-1 extension on the time fib. So I really do like this harmonic. I like the setup. It primarily targets about 163, and then actually it just primarily targets about 163 because this is a bearish shark harmonic. Could it go a little bit lower? Absolutely. Maybe we can start taking out some lows. I know that Super has some other targets on there that he's looking at. He has very specific take profit points. For me, I'd be looking at this 163 zone where I would basically close this trade entirely and move on to the next one. But so far, this is going really well. I did hop into some shorts right up here this morning. And what I will say, by the way, is that just something for future reference, to really cool kind of a setup or something to take note of. You can see that we put in the high for D-Wave here, and then we came really close to taking it again. Harmonics love to do this. When we got this massive rejection here, and I'll even go down to a 5-minute time frame. When we got this rejection here, you know, we got this move up and we got this rejection. I thought about shorting here, and then I thought to myself, well, it's a harmonic, so we'll probably get equal highs, and we did. So I got an opportunity to short here with my stop basically like, you know, right right above. So I got to take a massive position with little to no risk. And this is something that you'll see harmonics do very often. I have so many different examples of this happening, where it'll basically come up and create equal highs before finally getting the move to the downside, where people might be expecting the high to get taken. Instead, it won't, and it'll have just immediate continuation to the downside from there. Okay, so let's take a look at now. We'll hop into some stocks. We will take a look at Tesla. Tesla is off to an amazing start of the day, with a almost 4.5% pump off the lows. Again, I released a short video, a short clip on Twitter that I explained why I'm so bullish on Tesla, and basically, so as long as this price is kind of above this level here, you know, I'm bullish on it, because the way I see it is kind of we have this deviation. You come back, we back tested the deviation. Now we're going to have continuation to the upside towards the midline as well as the highs here. And I have this drawn out. I drew this out many weeks ago, and you can see it's just playing out to a T, where I entered positioned here. And then I said, we're going to get this move up, kind of a back test, and then I'll enter position here, and then we'll look to have continuation. So I did just that. I added more here in this area, not today, but on Thursday and Friday last week. And, you know, this is just a really beautiful trade, guys. This is one of those ones that you look at chart after chart after chart after chart, looking for one asset that has a setup like this, and to see it and catch it is a pretty... You know, it's a pretty fortunate move. This should play out really nicely. So as long as we, again, you know, remain above, you know, about 194. So as long as we're above there, I am very bullish on Tesla. Disney. So Disney did a really interesting thing. One of my longs got stopped out, and I wound up re-adding to that long. Let's see what my setups were here. So I took this one, and I'm targeting previous week high. But I had some setups here. Yeah, so this was my primary setup. Well, I didn't have my stop down here. I don't know what the heck this is. Okay, so basically I had some longs, my stops below here. I had another long that I entered in here, and I had my stop below here. That got stopped out. Upon getting stopped out, I thought that this might be some kind of a deviation play, and what I'm looking for, this gray box here is a gap on the chart for Disney. And so typically you'll see these gaps hold as support if we're going to have immediate continuation to the upside. So I saw that we got to move inside the gap. I went ahead and long more, put my stop here, looked at this as a deviation. So as long as we're above the weekly open, in my opinion, we can at the very least target the previous week high. And then from there, you know, look to our higher time frame target at about, you know, 118 to 120 that we've been talking about for weeks now. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. And I just want to pull up, let's see here. Yeah. So, you know, this trend line, basically, if we go ahead and just zoom out, maybe even a little bit more to like you know, this is kind of what we're looking at here, right? And if I'll even go on to regular trading hours, and we'll go ahead and get rid of this. So you can see the gap, and you can see that the gap is holding a support via this wick, right? And ultimately above weekly open, target previous week high, but ultimately looking to break up above this trend line that Disney has been trading under for a while now. So yeah, at the very least, I'll be taking profit at the previous week high, although I would like to see some kind of a breakout above here, and then maybe, you know, then kind of reevaluate, but ultimately get a move to range highs. You know, we can see that we've sort of been ranging back and forth in this zone here, and really, I'm just looking for price to visit range highs and take out this high over here. Let's see. Adobe. This was another really great trade, guys. I called this one out last week. I was looking for a You know what? I actually just traded this harmonic is what I did. I saw this move to the downside here. I took a long trade on this harmonic. Oh, and I believe that we had the previous week low. I updated it, so this is not the previous week low anymore, but I believe it was like at this level here, and I was looking for a deviation of that level, which we got. And now prices, you know, we have a really, really nice pump to the upside. And at this point, I'm just targeting range highs, right? We can also do some take profits, of course, at the 618. Which is at about 600. So I'll take some profits at about 600, then again at about, you know, 630, 633 zone. But so far this trade is looking really, really good. We've been absolutely killing it with our stock trades in the last few weeks here. So I think that is it for our analysis and trading plans this upcoming week. What are we at for time? We've been going for about 20-30 minutes here. I think this will be a nice place to wrap up. Yeah, BTC is really getting an interesting move here. It is, yeah, you know, maybe we really do get this sort of deviation or sweep to the high first, where I was sort of expecting the one to the downside first, but you know, that could very well happen. So let's see. I think when using fib time for measuring out harmonic moves, where are you placing the endpoints? Yeah, so what asset were we looking at that had our harmonic? We were looking at a couple different ones. I think the main one was the euro versus the yen. Yeah, so if we just go down to a 15-minute time frame, let's go to 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so typically what you would want to see in order to create symmetry on a harmonic is you would want to go from X, click once, to B, click twice, and that's where you would look, right? From X to B, you want it to be symmetrical. From B to D, and so that would be, you know, a 1-to-1 extension there. You can do different things with a fib time. You can do some pretty cool stuff actually. I don't know, I'll just pick a random. I'm just picking a random chart that I haven't really looked at. Okay, so here's like one cool thing you can do with fib time and stuff that I like to do. This is just a random chart. I haven't been charting this or looking at it. I just want to show you something. What you can do is you can take your fib time, right, and you can click at the bottom of this move to the top of this move. And then right now you have the length of this move to this move, right? So it's already set in here. And then you can put it at the bottom of this one and you can say, well, if this move here is going to be the same length as this one, then it should end at this time, right? And so it kind of gives you like some really nice sort of it adds a dimension of time into the chart to give you some idea of when your moves should start to play out. So a time fib is in my opinion one of the most underrated and underutilized tools that people often overlook. And I love using it all the time. I find it to be a very, 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 very powerful tool to use in this case. So I think that's about it. I didn't really see any more questions or anything like that. I know that new type you were talking about near. I haven't really done any charting on near. And that's maybe something we can look at in the future. But today I think that we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. We have some, again, really nice trading plans for the week. Some great setups here. So I'll be sure to update you as they come. And as always, guys, thanks for joining me today for our live stream. And again, we'll have Monday's range form here, and then we'll do some updating. And I'll also share my setups via Twitter throughout the week and in the Discord. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys.